Daughter's new car smells weird, look what dad finds inside. Kevin retches out in disgust at the terrible smell that lingered in his daughter's new car. He could taste it now, like curdled milk on the tip of his tongue. Where was it coming from? He looks around the car, but he can't see anything out of the ordinary. Then suddenly, he glances over at the glovebox, and a terrible feeling hits the pit of his stomach. There was no coming back from this. Kevin Duke was a single parent who worked hard to provide for his daughter Louisa. He worked as a local handyman, and every dollar he earned he put towards his beloved daughter. So when this devoted dad surprised his daughter with a generous gesture, he had no idea it would turn into uncovering something truly unimaginable. Kevin's daughter Louise was the apple of his eye. She was most definitely a daddy's girl, and even though she was about to turn 16, she would always be Kevin's baby. So, with Louise's 16th birthday just around the corner, Kevin knew he had to make it a birthday she would remember for years to come. And she would, but for all the wrong reasons. As it was Louise's 16th birthday, Kevin decided to pull out all the stops for his daughter. Not only had he got her a fantastic birthday cake, but he was going to surprise her and buy her a second-hand car. After a few days of searching for the best car with the best deal, Kevin finally found the perfect one. Or so he thought. Kevin was super excited to give Louise her car. He knew just how great it felt to be driving around the city in your very first car. It would definitely put a smile on her face. But what Kevin's daughter would later find in the glovebox of her new car would leave her feeling sick to her stomach. Kevin was well aware that purchasing a second-hand car can be a risky move, so he made sure the car was in near enough tip-top condition. When he went to view it, he test drove it and all seemed good. This car was pretty much perfect. There were no funny noises, the engine ran smoothly, and the salesman seemed trustworthy. But Kevin had no idea what was hidden deep inside the car. Kevin stood in front of the car and debated what to do. He could see the salesman was on edge, eager for a sale. After a few minutes, finally, Kevin made a decision. He shook the salesman's hand and loudly proclaimed, "I'll take it." He was handed the keys and he drove the car back home, all the while not knowing something terrible was a mere few feet away from him. Kevin's daughter's birthday was a few days away, so until then Kevin planned to keep it in his garage, hidden away until the big day. The build-up to his daughter's big day was tense. He didn't want to ruin the surprise. And when her big day finally came, nobody expected what was going to happen. It was the morning of Louise's birthday, and Kevin welcomed her at the bottom of the stairs, with 2 gigantic balloons and a smile plastered on his rosy face. His baby girl had officially grown up. He could feel a tear well up in his eye as she made her way downstairs. He gave her a hug and then told her that her present was outside. Kevin thought it was going to be a perfect day, but he was so wrong. Louise ran outside and to her delight, she saw a car with a ribbon tied around it. "It's yours," yelled out Kevin from behind. Louise's face lit up with joy. She was over the moon at her new car. She raced over, opened the door, and hopped inside. But then suddenly, Kevin watched his daughter's smile turn upside down. "What's wrong?" Kevin asked. "It smells, can you smell it?" Louise replied, her lips pouting. Kevin poked his head into the car and straight away he retched in disgust. He held his nose while his daughter scrambled out and slammed the door shut. The father and daughter duo had no idea what they were about to uncover. Kevin and his daughter looked at each other, feeling both stumped and freaked out by the terrible smell in the car. Kevin bit the bullet and headed back inside the car to find the source of the smell. But he had no idea what else he would find, hidden away. Kevin jumped inside the car and looked around to try and find something that looked unusual. But everything was as it was when he left it a few days prior after picking it up. He looked under the seats, but there was nothing strange there. Next, he checked the dashboard, and as soon as he opened it, he was lost for words at what was inside. Kevin's mouth dropped wide open when he realized that at the bottom of the glove box was a protective rubber mat and it had something lurking underneath. Before taking a deep breath he pulled the mat and saw a letter fall out. How did this get here? Did somebody put it here? Kevin picked up the letter and a shiver ran up his spine. Kevin became more alarmed when he saw the letter was addressed to the new car owner. Did that mean him? Hundreds of questions flooded Kevin's mind as he sat clutching the mysterious letter he found in the glove box. Should he even open it? Who was it from? What did it say? There was only one way to find out. Without a second to waste he started to rip open the letter. The letter started by saying, "To the person who gets this car, you have got a very special vehicle. This car holds a lot of memories for me. I hope it's the best car you've ever had and I want it to run for 100 years. Kevin continued reading and with each line of text he read, his heart gushed with emotion. This letter was heartbreaking. Kevin never in a million years would have thought buying a car would result in him receiving a letter like this. So what did this meaningful letter say? Kevin's fingers gripped the letter as he continued reading. "This car belonged to my beloved mom. She passed away on the 25th February 2015 in a house fire with my 6-year-old daughter and aunt. Kevin found out that this letter was from a woman called Sabrina Archie. Unfortunately, her daughter, mom, and aunt had passed away in a house fire and was forced to sell the car due to financial difficulties. But this car was more than just a car to Sabrina. This small, run-down car was something that held so many incredible and monumental memories for Sabrina. It was where she and her family sang along to their favorite song. It was where Sabrina changed far too many diapers in the backseat. This car was also the only item of her mother's that wasn't destroyed in the fire. As Kevin continued to read the letter, he could feel a lump in his throat and his eyes started to well up. His daughter, who was also reading the letter from behind, consoled her dad. Kevin felt awful that he bought something that meant so much more to somebody else. He finished reading, and ridden with guilt, he knew exactly what to do. Kevin posted the letter and the incident online on a social media page called Love What Matters. Within a matter of hours, Kevin, the letter, and Sabrina's story had gone viral. Thousands of people expressed their sympathy for Sabrina. Even Sabrina herself saw the post. But nobody, not even Sabrina, could have expected what would happen next. Due to the attention Sabrina was getting from Kevin's post, many people from all across the globe got in touch and donated money in order for her to get back her old car. Incredibly, Sabrina managed to do just that. Sabrina received thousands of dollars, which meant she was finally able to buy back her old car. But what about Kevin? For Kevin, he didn't mind saying goodbye to his daughter's new car. In fact, he was glad that Sabrina was getting it back. After all, this car wasn't just a car for Sabrina, it was something so much more. Having her car back enabled Sabrina to let go of the past and take a big leap into the not-so-scary future. And for the first time, Sabrina was ready.